what makes difference sometimes about how people achieve their task and how they get to keep up with whatever goals they've defined for themselves is the principles they apply. In this video, I'll walk you through the most recommended principles of time management you should know that have been helpful to me and that have helped several persons in the tech industry, in several aspects of human endeavors to actually get their tasks done and then achieve more within a very short time. And then, what is principle? Principle is a rule or basic idea that guides or controls how something works. What is time management? Time management is the act of strategizing, planning, coordinating, prioritizing, and controlling time usage to achieve set goals, the expected outcome in an organization, or manifest potentials. Simply put, principles of time management are the rules or standards that guide the effective and efficient use of time. In my opinion, age is the very time specifically that waits for nobody. It keeps increasing regardless of how it's being used. Time doesn't wait for anybody, whether you are sleeping or you are walking or you are doing exercise, you are hitting the gym, whatever you are doing, time does not wait. It keeps moving and the age of an individual keeps increasing. It is not something we can pause or we can just keep hold for a while and say, okay, I want to go and sleep minus 2-3 hours from my time because I'm using it to sleep. So everything we are doing is actually counting. The most wasted resource on earth is time. The following are a few but worthy of notes principles or standards for time management. Number one, plan. It is often been said failure to plan is planning to fail. If it takes 3 days to plan a year, it is worth it rather than randomly engaging in different activities to avoid being idle. It is important to think through the most important activities that are relevant to achieving the set goals, either as an individual or a corporate body. The plan could be daily or weekly or monthly or yearly. Next, prioritize your activities. Tasks are the outcome of planning. It is important to also state them according to their level of value and dependency on other activities. Some tasks can be done only if another one has been executed, hence the need to prioritize them. Have a to-do list. Next, evaluate the worth of the activity. A rhetorical question works fine here. What is the essence of this task? How important is this activity of 3 hours to me? There is a common saying, it is not proper or it is not wise to use time on things that are not necessary, but you may want to actually update that. There are good looking activities that can lead to time mismanagement simply because they are done at the wrong time or probably not worth it in some cases. I mean, there's nothing wrong with watching movie. There's nothing wrong with hitting the gym, but when you have something that you need to attend to and then there's a timeline you need to deliver that task and then you go about watching movie, checking social media posts, taking, going just touching one or two tasks and all of that. They are very good, but then you could take some time, maybe, or probably you could just take some exercise and then get back to your work. I know sometimes some persons are like, they can still meet up, and that's fine. And then sometimes too, they can be like, okay, I need to distract myself a bit so that I can get this focus. But then this is just saying that you need to evaluate the worth of the activity you're actually engaging yourself with. You can't spend the whole day trying to just beat out something and then trying to just make yourself feel good when there are other things to be done. So there are good looking activities that can lead to time mismanagement actually. And next, assessment of time on tasks. Evaluating the time spent in different activities is important even after prioritizing them. For instance, a task worth an hour maybe on a daily routine might not be known to have been executed in more than an hour until there's an evaluation. I was just thinking about this some time ago and I was like, these jobs where people work 9 to 5, 8 to 4, 9 to 4, 9 to 12, if you check it very well, they really do not spend the whole of those hours working. There are just few hours within that time that they actually spend to get their task done. So it's good to assess, to evaluate the time you spend on activities if it can be improved. The next is working purpose. Discover the purpose of your existence on earth and work in it. It brings a life of beauty and rest of mind at old age, but without it, regret, depression will set in. It's important to engage in activities that bring fulfillment or that leads to achieving goals. You see, one of the things is that time management is not about you wake up in the morning and you like, I will do what XYZ, I will do task one, task two, task three, task four, task five, and then you just go about doing them. Time management also it's applicable to the fact that what you spend your time doing, that you will find satisfaction in the future. You see, some persons have spent months, years doing a particular thing, and then at the end of the day, they'll be like, that was a waste of time. They did not find passion in it, they were not fulfilled in it. So it's good. I know some persons like there's what they call divine purposes. For some persons, they feel like they can just define where they want to go to in life or where they are headed to. I think whichever one you fall into, but then there is just important that at the end of the day, at when someone begins to advance in age, you begin to evaluate your time. Okay, I was able to do this when I was young. I went to soccer, I hit the gym, I was part of a movie, I was part of these people who organized, I volunteered for XYZ, and then it was a memorable experience to have volunteered for certain events. Be patient with the process, don't be slow or too fast. While it is important to be disciplined with time management, it is also necessary to understand the place of patience. Great things take time. There's a minimum requirement to become good in a skill, either as a fast or slow learner. There is a mark to hit. Offering premature value is disastrous. Like I was mentioning in a task just now, you have a task to do and then you are doing other things. So there is the need to be patient. Some things take time. They take time. Like you have to be patient. Some things cannot just happen in 3 months. They can take sometimes on task that you define to do for 2 hours can take 6 hours, can take a day. It's fine. So you just have to be patient. But then don't just be don't be too slow. Then don't overwhelm yourself with being too fast or with trying to get things done at a pace you cannot manage. Next, buy the time of others or sell part of your time. A time spent on an activity that leads to financial freedom or wealth creation can be justified to be good management of time. Some persons' engagement are beyond 24 hours. I mean, there are some persons that the level they've attained to, they cannot afford to do all of those things by themselves. They have to engage people. So such persons can pay, there's a person who does laundry, there is the chef, there is someone who does the cleaning of the house, there is someone who runs on errand to the market, there's someone who manages the schedules for meetings. So because as an individual, there are certain levels you attain to that you cannot do all of these things by yourself. So you need to buy the time of others. It is another way to manage time. Imagine you have a meeting, two executive meetings during the day, and then you are the one who is going to take care of what you're going to eat. You are the chef, you are the laundry person, you are the one who is running on errands, you are the one who is cleaning up the house, who is keeping the cars clean and all of that. That's a lot of tasks for one person. It's important to know that part of the principles of time management is to buy the time of others. Delegate tasks and attach some sort of reward as compensation for the time of others. And then some people are free to the extent of watching an entire series in a day, set part of that time. So one thing that can also give you this satisfaction is that if you are free, maybe you are waiting for a response on an application you made for a job, and then you have some free time, I think you can engage that time. Maybe just reach out to a friend that is busy and say, hey, can I help you to do XYZ? And then how much will you pay me? So making use of that time, it's also a good way to manage time, to actually put it out for somebody to pay for it. So you can sell part of your time. You can do online jobs like virtual assistant for somebody with your free time and make money from it. Next is time conversion. I can guarantee you these principles are not, you won't find them anywhere just randomly, because I had to filter them and then come up with the ones that have been useful to me. Time is a resource that can be converted to money. This is a rule you should apply at all costs, even if you don't agree with the aforementioned standards or principles. Dear friends, time can be converted. For example, I've taken some time out to gather my experiences and the ones I learned from others in the tech industry and human endeavors in the form of writing and sharing it. This time invested can be converted to any form of reward at any time. For example, I have my blog where I publish a couple of articles, so I can decide to say tomorrow I want to convert it, and then I want to monetize the blog and say whoever is going to read those articles, if you want to be part of that blog, you need to register at a particular fee or just place a cost tag on all of the articles or all of the blog membership plan, and then just say for so portion of the articles I've written, this is plan A, this is plan B, this is plan C. Invest in a skill that's been predicted to have high demand soonest or later. One amongst them is digital skill. Obviously, if you can invest in digital skill to get a digital skill, either a digital marketer, a programmer, a software engineer, an AI engineer, a machine learning engineer, prompt engineer, data science, whatever it is that will require you, that can enable you to work from a remote location, it is important you acquire those skills. Even though in recent times there are now requirements for some people to come back to get back to their physical offices. What will 3 to 6 month value in a skill become in terms of monetary reward? In this part of talking about time conversion, you need to check it, because if I can invest 3 to 6 months in something, I need to find out, okay, if I convert this time that I'm putting here, what will it become? For example, before I get to the level where I'm being paid for delivering services as a tech person, there were days and weeks and months I've spent learning certain things. So when I started getting the reward, I realized that that time was actually maximized. The next is take good rest. Simply ensure that you are taking good care of yourself. I think that sleep isn't a sign of weakness, but an excess of it is for the weak. Go for exercise, games, tourism, cinema. Only the healthy can be fit to engage in their activities consistently. The body becomes weak over time due to stress and lack of good rest. Spending days, weeks, and months with poor sleep and improper diets to get things done might be going well now, but it's certainly a debt to the body. There's a video I published about things I had been doing, like to relearn my skills in tech or to learn new skills. There's a video on YouTube channel where I mentioned about rest. So what I noticed is being stressed over a matter or trying to meet up with deadline is not sometimes is not productive. So you could see that there is a balance in the points I've mentioned. So there was a point where I said you can't have task and then you are doing something else. And now there is now another point that says take rest. So there are some times that what you need to do before you probably just watch a football match, watch a movie, hang out with a friend, just go just take some just go out, walk around, and just go for morning exercise or hike or something. Just stay away from that task and then come back. So those time you spend, you'll take a good rest and all of that. So they are very good, because sometimes I've seen personally there were days where I was overstressed. And then the funny part was that when I get up in the morning and I get to do my task, just 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes into the task, I begin to sleep off because I did not have proper rest. So at the end of the day, I spend I'm mentally drained, I'm stressed up, so I can't do much. And then that which eventually means that I'm not able to utilize that time properly. Finally, we are all in the process of becoming better. Prioritize progress over perfection. That we're talking about managing time here does not mean that you now have to be rigid, or someone has to be rigid with all of their tasks. You see, if I list 5, I must do the 5 by at all costs. No, 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 no. What we're saying is it is progress over perfection. There are a lot of standards out there for time management. If you find that you have been missing out due to the lack of these standards or principles, it would be nice to start from somewhere rather than trying to get it all at once. If you are not the type who can do a to-do list for a month or for a year, you can start from a day and then just put 3 things you would want to achieve that day, rather than just saying you want to start today and then you are not someone who is used to having to-do list, and then all of a sudden you want to force yourself and then get it done at once, or you want to list the task and then you want to achieve everything at once. So for someone starting out, you could just list 5, and then at the end of the day you realize that you were not able to do 3. That's fine. Then the next day you can continue. You can still get back at it and still try again. So don't forget to like the video, click the subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell, so that when I have my next video uploaded, you'll be notified. Bye.